Let me know you're out there. Let's all let each other know that we're out there. It's a big, big energy moment. A lot of energy moving in the planet, in the country, always, right? Just take a moment, whatever day you're watching this, take a moment to drop into this day, this energy. What's unique to you in this moment? What's unique to the day in this moment? What wants to be seen, felt, known, heard, experienced? And just drop a word into the chat. Just one word that transmits your state or your intention. Shout out to Jonah Harger of Sacred Day Clay. Shout out to Pitango for introducing me. Yes, ease, clarity. For me, it's compassion, deep love. Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to talk today about something that's deeply important to me. I haven't told this story at all. I haven't offered this teaching yet. It's like dropped in this morning. Just for you, just for you, just for you, just for you. So lean in to the stillness, to the connectedness. This is a story about dismantling the myth of the starving artist. This is a story about cutting through the lie that you have to choose between your deepest, authentic love, passion, expression and the ease and wealth and service that you are here for. For a long time, this was theoretical for me. Like I was learning about the law of attraction. I was learning about mindset. I was learning about how to make money and be of service and like really take things to a level that I had never seen before. And that was wonderful. And in that context, I knew that artists, musicians could do the thing also. But I think at some level, I felt really relieved that I was not an artist in that way, that I was not building a business around my art. Because at some level, I had some noise around that. Welcome, Becca. Welcome, Lucia. Welcome, Magda. Welcome, April. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Shri. And of course, we live in a society where that's a common theme. The idea that like some artists make it big, but most of them struggle. And that it's kind of a fluke who gets to win and who doesn't. So I'm making sweeping generalizations. Of course, we all know there's more nuance here. But I want to invite you to look at the truth of whatever parts of you are still holding on, even if it's just in little ways, to those ideas. Welcome, Janet. Welcome, Rihanna. Right? The idea that you have to choose, that there's like a choice to sell out and be successful, or do you unapologetically and then give up that success. So this year has been the best year in Jesse Johnson Coaching's history. And we've done many things differently this year. So it's been a real challenge, opportunity, inquiry to explore why has it been better this year? What's really the cause and what's the effect? Or rather, what's the cause that has led to specifically the effect of our greater success. And there's so many things, and I've talked with you guys about a bunch of them. But this week, another one came through and I was like, oh, this is the most important. And so now I'm going to tell you the story. You ready? Story time. So Christmas time, 2019, Shri and I are driving to Petaluma for Christmas with our bestie. And we have a fight leaving the house. And we basically fight the entire drive. For many, many reasons. You know, I have this whole expectation that the road trip is going to be this particular kind of experience, and he has no reference point for that. And so I'm like disappointed out the gate, and I'm playing the music that's the wrong music for him. And then I'm annoyed that he's annoyed, and blah, 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 right? We just spin out. Hours in the car, not really making any progress. Trying, right? Like trying, how about this new topic? How about this new, right? As we were driving through San Francisco, so it must have been 6 or maybe even 8 hours into the drive, I had this, like all parts of myself came together. And I want you to think about what that feels like. Because I know that you guys have all had moments like that where you just felt like all of you was in your body. All of you was here happening in this moment. You guys know what I'm talking about. See if you can feel it now. This is, for me, the words of this state are, I know who I am. I know how I serve. I am here all the way. I am here all the way. I am here. I am here in my body. I am here in this identification. This is it. This is me. And doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel powerful? Doesn't it feel strong? Doesn't it feel clear? Doesn't it feel easy? Like when we look for this feeling, we find a lot of other resources. So this is a useful moment. But it came through, and what came out of my mouth afterwards changed the course of my history. And what came out of my mouth was Sri Kala, because of course I was debating with him. I am an artist. I am being guided here. And nothing that you can say or do is going to change my devotion to following this guidance. From the time that I think that this identification, this experience really emerged for me in college because I basically went to art school. And that is where I learned, like really deeply learned. Shout out to Hampshire College, because that they taught me how to find this for myself. I learned how to listen to that impulse that comes from beyond. I learned how to trust. And what I experience in that space is that it's not intellectual at all. It's not necessarily rational. It's a knowing. This is what wants to come through. It doesn't really matter if it's popular or not. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It wants to look like this. It wants to sound like this. It wants to move like this. And it happens in film, which was my primary medium, and it happens in dance, which was my secondary medium, and it happens in music, and it's unconditional. And it's the same, I know now, as channeling. Tell me if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And you know when it's happening because of the inner state that you experience, the inner resonance. It really doesn't always look the best. It really doesn't always sound the best. It really doesn't always match what other people want to see. It's not always the most popular, but you know it. You know it. And the positive feedback is the knowing. The positive feedback is the affirmation from beyond. Yes, it's the feeling in your body. This feeling, this devotion to this knowing, this unapologetic willingness to listen and stay with, this is the task of the artist. This is why spiritual practice and creative practice line up so well together, because they're so connected. Creativity has more outward expression, whereas spiritual practice typically has more inward resting. But the feeling is so similar. They're like neighbors, they're buddies. I'm so glad this is landing. I'm seeing what you guys are putting in the chats. Thank you. Keep doing that. Keep sharing what's dropping in for you. In order to find those states, I'm taking a little tangent, I'll come back to the story. In order to find those states, you have to be willing to be messy. You have to be willing to take risks and try things on to see, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Is this resonance? Like, is it, how about here? How about here? Right? Like, you got to be willing to play with your range and try things on. Madison, if you're driving, you don't have to chat at all. And also, I invite you to pull over if you would like and be have tea with us fully. No right or wrong, no better or worse. So, of course, as human beings, we're all artists. We're all movers. We're all musicians. Whether we're trained in it or not, it is the birthright of humanity to make sound and movement. It is the birthright of humanity to draw on the walls, right? Like, these are not gifts that are restricted to only certain people. And what I learned on that drive, and it made the 8 hours of fighting road trip worth it, was that my business is my art. Every social media post, every email, every coaching session, every video that we upload to YouTube, every live, every teaching wants to be the most itself it can possibly be. And I am the shepherd of that moment, of that gift, of that teaching, of that beauty, of that love. And I'm sure y'all have heard this. The teaching around this is worth the cliche. Like, it's so, so, so powerful. The story of Michelangelo not trying to make the David, but knowing the David that was inside the stone and revealing it, chipping away to help the thing that was already there be visible, be seen. Letting the stone talk to him, letting the stone guide him, letting the stone, right? This is where ease is. This is true when you're creating a program, right? When you're designing a new program, when you're writing a new lead magnet, when you are crafting your next social media post, there is something that any of those things that you would create, they already have something they want to be. This is not marketing language, guys. This is not like typical advertising language. I'm talking about art. I'm talking about the deepest transmission of the divine that comes through us and touches other people. The more we get out of the way, the more the thing can come through. But us getting out of the way doesn't mean that we're not important. We are shepherds. We are midwives. We are channels. So when I came to this clarity, the significance was, I know what this is already. I don't have to figure this out. I already have a way to approach marketing and social media. It's the thing I've been doing my whole life. It's the way that I approach making art. I already have a way of making decisions. What needs to happen is that I need to choose to live in devotion to that feeling, that frequency, that resonance. And in the moment of talking with Shri, what happened was that I just became conscious that that was all this noise, all this fighting that we were doing, all this like debate and me sort of struggling to claim my power in collaboration, blah, 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 all this stuff was just providing the contrast necessary so that I could come into my knowing, oh yeah, I know how to make these decisions. I know what my contribution is. It's not an elevator pitch, it's a feeling. There's a little mic drop there. And when I live in devotion to that feeling, that frequency, that's when I'm guided. So then we did all kinds of things this year. And that was underneath all of them. And it integrated so fast that I forgot it had happened. Like I forgot that it wasn't always this way. This was the moment when I realized I'm going to trust myself in this feeling. When this feeling is guiding, I'm going to trust that above everything else. I will still listen to Shri and my other advisors on my team. I'm not going to like ignore them, but I'm not going to give this up. I'm going to trust this resonance. I'm going to let this guide. So even when someone comes at me and tells me like, this is the only way that this can work and this other thing that you want to do won't work, if this knowing is guiding me, I'm not letting that go for anything. Why? Because I'm an artist and this is my job. This is how I make my art. This is how I understand what my art even wants to be in the world. Right now, my art has so much to do with the mission around unifying and weaving together deep spiritual mastery and deep money mastery. And so every conversation that I'm having, every person that I'm working with, and every teaching that I'm offering is touching those two places. How do spirituality and money mastery want to talk to the world through me today? This is cool, right? How do they want to come through these fingers, these hands? But I'm not even really asking that question out loud. I'm naming that now. As I look back, I can see the threads are so clear. Those threads are always there. But I don't even have to understand it. The art historians can do that. The marketers can do that. I just have to keep living in this, what wants to come through now and now and now and now and now. And use all of the entrepreneurial brilliance that I have and that my mentors have taught me to get this more out into the world. So it's not just stuck up in here. We've made almost double this year what we made last year at this time. With more ease, with more fun, with more pleasure, with more resonance, with more, not less. And in the process, I've met so many artists who are doing the same thing. Musicians, mug makers, visual artists. Because we're talking about a transmission. We're talking about a frequency. lining up with that frequency, being willing to be unapologetic there, whether people like it or not, whether people buy it or not, whether people all say yes to it or not, to be willing to fully, with no dilution at all, live in total devotion to that thing. And cultivate, turn up the volume on your ability to hear it, to know it. It's there, screaming at all of us, pulsing at all of us, whispering at all of us, loving at all of us, moving through all of us. There's no one that doesn't have access to this. No one. So this is what we're teaching in Shine Your Light. Just to throw that out there. This is what we're integrating, right? Because the people that are coming into that program already know so much of this. But Shine Your Light is about revealing more of where these pieces connect. How do you let your portal open so that everything that wants to come through you can come through, both to you and through you? Yeah. This is beautiful. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So some of you have heard us say this. Shine Your Light is really designed to be art school for entrepreneurs and art school for spiritual entrepreneurs, because everyone that we work with is bringing some kind of transformational mastery to the table. It's not a program for newbies. It's a program for people who have been doing this some time. It's for people who have already figured out how to monetize this to some extent, but just still feel like you're working too hard, or you're sacrificing too much, or you're selling out a little bit, or there's just something that doesn't feel right. There's something that's rubbing you the wrong way. There's some place where you feel like you have to fight that you don't want to fight. There's something that's like glitching. This is the program to support you in cleaning that up, purifying your channel, and doing that with support, both the support of me and Shri, as well as the support of the community. It's our most, it is the program that is the most itself of all programs we have ever offered in the world. The program itself is the most, we're gonna have to find some more language for this, because I'm like, language? Hello? Language? So if you're interested in that, email info@jessiejohnsoncoaching.com. Get on our calendar. Let's talk. Just take a moment now and come back to your knowing. You don't have to figure out anything. You're just coming into that resting state of belonging with yourself. Raising the standard on how much you know this state, how much you live in this state. And you do that by just practicing, by returning to it over and over again. It is close to presence. It is close to love. And it's got something else with it also, because it really is about listening to direction. This is the part of you that recognizes beauty. This is the part of you that knows what you like. This is connected to your personal preferences. It's connected to what feels good to you in bed. It's connected to what you like to eat. Like, this is the place of the sweetest, yes, that, yeah. Know that you don't ever have to leave that for your business. You don't ever have to leave that for money. Not ever. That was a lie. Somebody taught us to get us to, do something useful that they thought would be better for us. It's fine. All primarily, anyway, good intentions, but it's not required. There is no selling out required. There is no trade-off required. There is no compromise required. There is no sacrifice required. You can have it all. A beloved stranger met me. I'll just keep it simple. She met me through Instagram. I still haven't met her. But because of what I'm talking about, because of doing what I'm talking about, she feels like I know her and love her and am holding space for her personally. And she's right. Imagine what would be possible for our world, for our culture, for our communities, if that's what social media was about. If we came to social media because we felt loved, seen, known, heard, understood, welcomed, like the deepest intimacy, the deepest connection. Erica just generously said, that's your superpower, Jesse. And I'm here to tell you, this is our superpower. This is what we're all capable of. So yes, it is my superpower. And I'm here illuminating it so you guys can recognize it in yourself. And of course, recognize where you step out of it. Where do you compromise your message? Where do you compromise your truth because you feel like it's a little too edgy, a little too uncomfortable, a little too provocative, a little too unclear, where it feels too risky? That's normal. That's fine. We all do that. What do you think we came here for? Right? We're tuning the mechanism. We're tuning the instrument of our listening. We're tuning. This is what we're here for, to tune. And then speak from that tune. Yes, Becca. Any superpower you can identify in someone else, you can identify in you. This is true about all things, right? Anything you see in someone else, it's in you. That's a nice little, just for me personally, on this November 4th, 2020. That's an important piece to remember on lots of levels. So this Saturday, we're going to be doing something we haven't done in months and months, but is one of our favorite things to do, which is to open up a private Zoom room for anyone who registers, totally free, totally no cost, totally no strings attached, and be available to coach you and answer any questions about this subject. This Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific. We chose Saturday because there's something so spacious and playful about Saturday, and we don't have to treat it like a deadline. So we'll open up the Zoom at 1 p.m. Pacific and dive in with who's ever there. So bring your questions, bring your what's on your heart, Shri and I will both be there. Let us serve you. Let us support you. Let us help you. And if there's more that you know you want from us, let us know that too. We're here. Always, 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 always. You can do things on your terms. You can have what you want. You are meant to have what you want. That's why you want it. Your listening to what you want is part of how you are learning to listen to this transmission, this channel. You are here to carve David out of some stone. You're not going to know about the stone or about the David until you show up, until you release the need to control and step into the mystery of that intimate relationship with God, with spirit, with source. That is the location and source of ease. That is the location and source of love. That is the location and source of presence. That is the location and source of answers. That is the location and source of direction. That is the location and source of clarity. That is the location and source of your purest, most important transmission. Your hearts are beautiful. I love being with you. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in with me, diving in with me, opening your heart with me. Singing your song with me. Keep taking care of you. Thank you, Robin. Trust yourself. And if you feel like you know someone who needs to hear this, just send them the link or tag them. We got this on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So whatever platform you're on and or they're on, you can share it from any of those places. I think this is an important one. This message is coming through really loudly for me. Really strong, really clear. All put together, like I didn't write a lesson plan for today. I didn't craft the speech. I woke up and it was, I'm just reading. That's kind of what this is like. I'm just reading the book that was written for me to read to you. All right, beauties. Love you so much. Thank you. Be well. Let's connect again soon. I'll see you on Saturday. The link to register is on the website, on the Instagram link tree. And if you can't find it, just message us, DM me or whatever. So see you Saturday. Come, let me see your face. Let me connect with you in real time. Bring your questions, bring your heart. And of course, we'll see you again next Wednesday.